Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to move beyond just memorizing lists of vocabulary. We're going to take a much more interesting and I think much more powerful approach to learning Mandarin. We're going to start looking at the logic, the system behind the words, starting with some of the most basic things we do every single day, our daily routines.
So let me start by asking you a question, and I want you to keep this in mind for your entire language learning journey. Are you just learning words, or are you learning a system? Because by the end of our time together today, my goal isn't just to give you a few new words. It's to give you a whole new framework, a way of thinking that you can use to figure out almost any new word you come across.
So many students get overwhelmed by Chinese characters, the Hanzi. They see them as this endless mountain of complex pictures they have to memorize one by one. And honestly, that's just a recipe for burnout. There's a much better way, a more intuitive way. We need to start seeing words not as single, random items, but as little stories built from smaller, logical pieces. Think of it like a puzzle. Today, we're going to learn how to put the pieces together. Okay, let's dive right in with our first example. We're going to take this incredibly common, everyday word and basically put it under a microscope. We're going to deconstruct it piece by piece and see the really simple, elegant story it tells about the first thing we do every morning. So here it is, 起床. Now, if you look this up in a dictionary, it's going to tell you it means to get out of bed or to wake up. And that's correct, of course. But the real learning, the real key that unlocks the language, isn't in that simple translation. It's hidden inside the characters themselves. Let's take a closer look. And here it is. This is what I'm talking about. The word is a story. It's not just some random sound. It's a logical combination of two ideas. The first character, qi, pronounced qi, means to rise or to get up. The second character, chuang, means bed. So quite literally, the word means to rise from bed. The word defines itself. And you're going to find this beautiful, transparent logic all over the place in Mandarin. Of course, understanding the logic is just step one. We have to be able to say it correctly. So let's really focus on this first sound, qi. That Q sound is tricky for English speakers. Here's how you do it. Put the tip of your tongue right behind your bottom front teeth. Keep it flat. Then push out a sharp little puff of air. Listen, qi, qi. A really common mistake is to say it like a K sound, like ki. That's not it. It's sharp. Qi. Now, look at that little V shape over the I. That's the third tone. It goes down, then back up. Imagine your voice tracing that shape. Listen again. Qi, qi. Let's try it. Start mid, go down, then scoop it up. Qi. Perfect. Excellent. So now we have our method, right? Break it down. Let's apply that same system to our next couple of words. And as we do this, notice how you're not just memorizing. You're actually building a mental map of how the language works, which is going to boost your confidence like crazy. All right, here's our second essential daily activity, qi fun. Now hang on, before we jump to the next slide, I want you to try something. Based on what we just did with qi chuang, take a guess. What do you think the story is inside this word? What two ideas might be combined here? Okay, let's see if you're right.
And there you have it. It's another beautiful example of this principle. The first character, ch, is the verb to eat. Simple enough. The second character, fun, literally means cooked rice. But over time, its meaning has expanded to just mean meal. And that little fact tells you something really important about the culture, doesn't it? It shows you how central rice has been to Chinese civilization for thousands of years. So, to eat rice became the default way to say to eat a meal. It's a perfect logical combination.
Okay, pronunciation time again, and this is a really, really important one. That qi in qi is not the same sound as the Q we just learned. This is what's called a retroflex sound. Here's what you do. You actually have to curl the tip of your tongue up and back toward the roof of your mouth. Listen to the sound it makes. Qi, qi. Now let's compare it directly with the Q sound. The number 7 is ge qi, tongue flattened down. Ge qi. The word for eat is qi, tongue curled up and back. Qi. Can you hear the difference? Ge qi, qi, ge qi, qi. Nailing this distinction is huge for sounding clear. And finally, the tone here is the first tone. That's the easiest one. It's just high and flat. No ups, no downs, just qi. Let's try it. Qi.
And our third and final activity of the day, something we all love, 睡觉, to sleep.
By now, you should be getting the hang of this. You see a two-character word and you know there's a story inside. So what do you think? What's the logic here?
This one is a really cool example of a common pattern in Mandarin. The first character, shui, is the verb, to sleep. The second character, jiao, acts like a noun that's related to the verb. It means asleep or a nap. So literally, the phrase means to sleep asleep. It sounds a little redundant in English, but what it does in Chinese is it emphasizes the action. It's not just about the state of being asleep, it's about the act of going to sleep or having a sleep. It's a very active construction.
Okay, so we've got the mechanics, we've got the logic. Now we're ready to level up. Because knowing what a word means is one thing, but knowing how it's used by real people in real conversations, that's where fluency truly begins. And to do that, we're going to circle back to our word, 吃饭.
If you spend any time in a Chinese-speaking place, you will hear this phrase, 你吃饭了吗? all the time. Let's break it down real quick. 你 is you, 吃饭 is eat a meal, the la particle means the action is complete, and ma turns it into a question. So literally it means, have you eaten yet? But, and this is so important, it almost never is a real question about food.
The crucial takeaway here is that this question isn't usually an invitation to dinner. It's a social greeting. It has become the cultural equivalent of saying, how are you? Or what's up? Or hey, how's it going? It's a way to start a conversation, to show you acknowledge someone, and to just generally check in. Understanding this is absolutely critical if you want to connect with people. So why this specific phrase? Well, for one, it comes from a history where not too long ago, having enough food wasn't always a given. So asking, have you eaten, was a very real, very genuine way of asking, are you okay? Is everything all right? It was a profound expression of care. Secondly, it reflects how central food is to the culture. Business deals, family celebrations, making friends, it all happens around a table. Sharing food is how you build relationships. So when you use this greeting and you respond correctly, like with a simple chilla, Nina, I've eaten. What about you? You're doing more than just speaking Chinese. You're showing you get it, you understand the culture, you're building a real connection.
So let's just pull back for a second and appreciate what we've really done here. This wasn't just about learning 3 words. This was about learning a whole new method, a new way to look at the entire language.
This 3-step process right here, this is your key. First, you deconstruct the word into its pieces. Second, you analyze the logic, the story that those pieces tell. And third, you connect that word to its cultural context to see how it's really used. When you do this, learning stops being a chore and starts becoming this fascinating process of discovery.
So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge, a little homework, if you will. The modern Chinese word for computer is 电脑. Now, don't just go memorize it. Use the system. Look up the 2 characters individually, 电, and now. Deconstruct it. Analyze the logic. What story does electric brain tell you? When you start applying this system to every new word you learn, that's when you stop translating in your head and you truly start thinking in Mandarin. Thank you.